Who is Julian Assange? Why or how is he relevant, and how does he relate to 1984? First, the most pressing concern is at hand. How does doublethink, constant war, torture, loss of privacy, and loss of history and corruptibility of truth relate to Assange? Julian Assange is an Australian who is the founder of a controversial website called WikiLeaks. His main goal is to use his hacking skills to uncover the hidden details of government operation, and he particularly focuses on publishing his findings on WikiLeaks. When he became older, Assange chose to attend the University of Melbourne. He studied mathematics before abandoning his degree. Some could say this was a turning point for Assange that sparked his willingness to question authority and the way government deals with information and technology. His website WikiLeaks was officially created in 2007. At that time, it was run from Sweden, which let users protect their anonymity without government interference. Assange's greatest achievements include uncovering the gruesome torture occurring in Guantanamo Bay, leaking information about Sarah Palin's emails during the 2008 election, warning citizens of the NSA spying on them, and also leaking 1,200 emails from Hillary Clinton's private server during the 2016 election. Although Assange has uncovered a lot of unethical government behavior himself, whether or not his own actions are immoral is another story. Obviously, he frequently violates laws by publishing classified info on WikiLeaks. However, there are some parts of his findings which lawyers believe are protected by the First Amendment. Many parts of the Espionage Act, for example, can swing either way. Not only that, but a number of citizens, for example, the listeners of NPR, have mixed opinions on the hacker as well. Although part of them find that Assange did indeed break the law, others support the greater purpose of exposing and ending illegal government activity. Many government officials, like the CIA, beg to differ. They believe that his publishings on WikiLeaks can harm the USA and its citizens, and thus should never be published in the first place. Clearly, Assange has engaged in unethical behavior. What remains a mystery is if his leaks have directly caused acts of terrorism. Until that happens, it will still remain a mystery. Sadly, Assange's leaks exposed horrendous crimes committed by the US government. What's even more scary is that these crimes relate directly to 1984 themes such as doublethink, constant war, torture, and loss of privacy. Assange has shown that the US government itself engages in doublethink. How else could an entity sworn to live by the Constitution deny its citizens their constitutional rights? In 1984, another theme is constant war. The US government acts in a very party-esque way in this regard as well. Several presidents have told the citizens that the conflict in the Middle East would come to an end, but even that lie was not the greatest sin. The greatest sin was the uselessness of the war, the fact that peace, resolution, or even a victory was not the ultimate goal. Not to mention that yet again, another aspect of the Constitution, the Eighth Amendment, no cruel and unusual punishment, was ignored. Julian Assange said the intimate depths of the conflict were made public in an attempt to reveal the truth about the conflict. The war logs suggest evidence of torture was ignored, and detailed the deaths of thousands of Iraqi citizens. In 1984, another frightening thing about the party is their use of torture. If you mean confessing, she said, we shall do that right enough. Everybody always confesses. You can't help it, they torture you. The crimes last mentioned dealt with international affairs. The loss of privacy hits closer to home. The telescreen received and transmitted simultaneously. Any sound that Winston made above the level of a very low whisper would be picked up by it. Moreover, so long as he remained within the field of vision which the metal plaque commanded, he could be seen as well as heard. It is now a journalistic cliché to remark that George Orwell's 1984 was prophetic. The novel was so prophetic that its prophecies have become modern-day prosaisms. Reading it now is a tedious experience. Against the omniscient marvels of today's surveillance states, Big Brother's fixtures, their watchful televisions and hidden microscopes, seems quaint, even reassuring. Whereas in 1945, much of the world faced a half-century of tyranny as a result of the atomic bomb, in 2015 we face the inexorable spread of invasive mass surveillance and the attendant transfer of power to those connected to its superstructures. The overarching problem with a person like Assange is the amount of power he possesses. The damage that can occur from a convenient leak can be catastrophic. What happens if Assange tries to undermine a government simply because he wanted to? Even worse, what happens if another government manipulates him into doing so? The problem with WikiLeaks is that it is simply a website. Assange can publish anything he likes on there, and since he's not fully transparent about where the information comes from, the validity of his website remains in jeopardy. How can a citizen decide if what he says is true or not? Do they trust a government, which is losing its reputation, or a man who claims to help them? Needless to say, the situation is quite dangerous. Hopefully, it won't get to the 1984 phase, where any record can be forged by Assange and the past can be completely forgotten and overwritten. The only solution to the harrowing Assange government situation is transparency on both sides. The reason the validity and reputation of both Assange and the government is at risk is because they both haven't taken the steps to walk the citizens through their actions. The government abuses their power, executing their unconstitutional crimes in other countries, practically engaging in doublethink. Is the Patriot Act really patriotic, or is the name just a shiny positive thing that persuades citizens to forget about their rights? Assange, on the other hand, is only slightly better. He catches the government red-handed as they try to violate the rights of citizens. However, every time he does so, he acquires more power and influence. Combined with bias, this can be dangerous. Citizens should understand all of this and understand the dangers of both sides. They must avoid vehemently supporting either the government or Assange, as neither is completely honest. Instead, they must seek a solution to both issues. Since the USA is a representative democracy, citizens are the only ones who wield a significant portion of the power. They are the ones who must decide how to use it, and how to better this grave situation. The Constitution is the heart of all of this. It protects them from spying, protects them from torture. So when it gets violated by the government, citizens shouldn't just stay at rest. They must protest, they must use their First Amendment rights. They must alert other citizens about content war, loss of privacy, etc., and ensure that 1984 does not become a reality.
There we go. All patched up.